everybody, this is Ma'am Sheena, and today we are going to review topic 1, which is all about introduction to management. So, let me first define what management is. So, as previously discussed, ang dami talagang definition ng management, but this one is my favorite. Management is getting things done through and with people. But at the same time, the simplest definition, and it captures the whole process of management, is this one. Management is the art of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling to achieve organization's goals. Okay, so this chapter will give a preview of the 4 managerial functions, and at the same time, they will start with the review on the evolution of the management theories, and of course, they should define who managers are, what they do, and all others that you should know to be able to understand management. So I will now give the floor to 1 BSBAA.
The management history can be summarized in 5 periods or approaches: the early management, classical approach, behavioral approach, quantitative approach, and contemporary approach. These approaches have significant contributions to the concept of management in today's generation. Therefore, it is important to know for anyone studying management to know its history, as it could help an individual understand how today's organizations evolve. We can also learn about the mistakes that are made from the past and make the decisions right now. History also tells us how different theories of management are developed.
Early management. Management has been practiced a long time. Organized endeavors directed by people responsible for planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Activities have existed for 1,000 years. Pyramid and Great Wall of China, examples of historical. Yung management is matagal nang ginagawa or matagal nang pinapractice ng ating mga ninuno. Ginagamit na nila ang management pero hindi nila alam na management ang tawag. Ito yung early management example natin.
Hello everyone, the topic that I've discussed today is all about division of labor or job specialization. Division of labor is the breakdown of jobs into narrow and repetitive tasks. It is dividing each one of the workers of what to do. Examples in reporting: who do the activities number 1, number 2, and number 3, and who prepare the PowerPoint. That's the division of labor. We also have the term job specialization. Job specialization is you were assigned in the job where do you think you are good at. Examples: you were assigned in algebra and others are assigned in geometry.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Bernal, and this is the topic, Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution brought growth of factory system in large market and new scale technologies. So for my explanation, for my opinion, Industrial Revolution, this is a system which they develop highly standard, they expand, and they change for a better. For example, in a factory, they prefer to use some machines rather than handmade because they wanted to reduce of working hours of a human, and they want to provide a more precise and accurate work.
Classical approach is the first studies of management which emphasize rationality and making organizations and workers as efficient as possible. Classical approach mainly looks for the universal principles of operation and thus striving for economic efficiency.
Who is Frederick Winslow Taylor? He was an American mechanical engineer who sought to improve industrial efficiency. He was one of the first management consultants. Taylor was one of the intellectual leaders of the efficiency movement, and his ideas, broadly conceived, were highly influential in the progressive era.
Hi guys, my topic today is all about scientific management. So, scientific management is a theory of management that analyzes and synthesizes workflows. Its main objective is improving economy efficiency, especially labor productivity. It was one of the earliest attempts to apply science to the engineering of process to management.
Frank and Lillian Gilbreth are a married couple with 12 children. They are one of the advocates of scientific management which identify the best way to do the task. They are a pioneer of time and motion study wherein to improve workers' productivity. They invented a device called microchronometer that recorded the worker's hand and body motion and to measure the time spent while doing it. Also, to dispose and distinguish the wasted motion. Besides, Gilbert's proposed a device that gave more detailed method of examining workers' exact hand movement, which they called terbligs.
General Administrative Theory. General Administrative Theory is an approach to management that focuses on describing what managers do and what constitute good management practice. Example of general administrative theory is the 14 Principles of Henry Fayol, kung saan dinedescribe doon kung ano yung mga dapat taglayin at tinataglay ng managers at mga employee niya sa isang organisasyon para maging maayos yung kakalabasan ng isang business. At sa approach na to, malalaman kung effective ba yung way na ginamit ng manager para sa kanyang organizations.
Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol developed the 14 principles of management, the fundamental rules of management that can be applied in all organizational situations status quo. His belief that the management was an activity common to all business endeavors led him to develop these 14 principles of management. Fayol's 14 principles of management explained that the manager should know how to organize and interact with the staff, because in the early 1900s, the managers don't know how to guide and develop their management practices. But thanks to Henry Fayol, the managers began to get the tools needed to lead and manage effectively their staff.
The division of labor or division of work is important to a company and to the employees. Here it divides the position among the employees. Managers put the employees in position where they are more expert or better. Their work will be easier and they will be able to finish their work well. Whenever employees focus on the position assigned to them, they can more easily memorize it. And if you run a business that makes product, consider dividing position in your company by using your employees can increase the output of your company, because employees can avoid mistakes because they only focus on the position assigned to them.
Managers must be able to give orders, and authority gives them this right. Authority, in simple words, is the right way of commanding subordinates, issuing orders and instructions, and exacting obedience from the team. Managers need this. It makes their position real and gives them the power to order their subordinates and get them to comply. Authority is also the right of the manager to make decisions. It is the power to command others and decide to act or refrain from acting to achieve the organization's goals.
Discipline. Employees must obey and respect the rules that govern the organization. Human life is a gift from God, which shines with discipline. It helps in developing self-control. It molds, strengthens, and perfects a personality. Discipline shapes our life and teaches us how to handle different situations. It helps us to focus on our goals. It helps us to live a peaceful and healthy life. We must follow discipline in our lives because it is the key to the path of success.
Unity of command. Every employee should receive orders from only one superior. It is a classic principle of management that is used in many hierarchical organizations. An employee is responsible to only one designated supervisor and holds that he or she should be only answerable to one person who in turn is responsible to only one supervisor, and so on.
The unity of direction is the organization should have a single plan to action to guide managers and workers. Like for example, All the marketing activities such as advertising, sales promotion, pricing policy, etc. must be directly by one and only managers. And he or she must be only one plan for all the marketing activities.
Subordination of individual interest to general interest. The principle proposed that an organization can be effective only when the interests of the whole take precedence over the interests of individuals. Those individuals must always consider the organization goal first, means that the interest of the organization is above the interest of the individual and the group. It can be achieved only when managers in high position in the organization set an example of honesty, integrity, fairness, and justice.
Remuneration is the payment or the monetary reward of an organization for the performance and service of an employee's work. It includes the salary, wages, commission, bonus, and other economic benefits that company gives to an employee as a reward. Example of the salary is yung monthly salary, hourly salary, and meron din po yung commission kung magkano yung ibibigay ng kumpanya depende sa napag-usapan nilang percentage.
Centralization is where power and decision-making is mainly focused on the higher levels of the management or to a single authority or a single person. When we say centralization, it has a classic hierarchy and a formal authority. It is mostly a top-down communication. It has a division of labor. It is tightly coupled. It is controlled and is stable. And the decision-making is not flexible. You cannot change it anytime. Sadly, it has a poor upward communication.
Scalar chain is the line of authority from top management down to the lowest ranks. It is just like an hierarchy or an organizational structure in an organization. Scalar chain is necessary in an organization because it gives each managers a certain amount of authority for them to know who are they going to report to in attaining success.
Order. People and materials should be at the right place at the right time. By this, the company must maintain a well-defined work order because if everyone knows the rules and regulations and the steps in the organization, then everyone will have a positive atmosphere. Why? For example, if the employees knows their position, knows when to do their tasks, and knows how to manage their product, then this will result to a high maintenance skill for the employee that will bring more productivity for the company's success.
Managers should be kind and fair to their subordinates. Halimbawa, sa company, dapat maging kind ka and fair sa mga empleyado mo. Parang sa the way ng pag-uusap mo sa isang empleyado, dapat kung ano yung pinag-usap mo sa isang empleyado, ganun din dapat sa isa. Para fair. Tapos, dapat wala kang favoritism sa mga empleyado mo. Kunwari, ikaw yung managers. Dapat wala kang kinikilala porket kaano-ano mo siya. Iba na yung trato mo sa kanya. Dapat maging fair ka sa mga empleyado mo para walang lamangan.
Good day everyone, I am Ira C. Fabro and my presentation is one of the different principles of Henry Fayol, which is the stability of tenure of personnel. Stability of tenure of personnel ensures that replacements are available to fill vacancies. It is called for orderly personnel planning. In this principle says that the vacancies in any position need to fill so they can avoid effort, time, and money from going to waste because it is hard for an employee to get used to a new work and it can also cause a bad for a business. Thank you.
Initiative gives encourage to the employees to bring out their own ideas, think out a plan, and do what it takes to make it happen. It can ensure their maximum participation and develop their sense of belongingness that can satisfy the employee and bring success to the organization. So, example, nagtrabaho ka sa isang shop. Nakita mo na may particular na product lang kayo na benta per season. So, nag-initiate ka na gumawa ng mga listahan na pwede nyong ibenta upang madagdagan nyo ng yung production nyo ng mga product na iyon.
Hi guys, the assigned topic for me is Esprit de Corps. The definition of Esprit de Corps is promoting team spirit that will build harmony and unity within the organization. Esprit de Corps is one of Henry Fayol's 14 principles of management. For me, it is the process wherein it will tighten the connection of every employee that will lead to a strong unity within the organization. And because of that, they can work efficiently.
Bureaucracy management also has two essential elements. First, it entails structuring an organization, a hierarchy. Secondly, the organization and its members are governed by clearly defined rational legal decision-making rules. Each element helps us an organization to achieve its goals. For example, in the public sector, include the Social Security Administration, Environmental Protection Agency, and public universities. Among the oldest bureaucratic structures is in the country of the United States military. In the private sector, most large business firms have a bureaucratic organization. So, thank you.
What is organizational behavior? Organizational behavior is the study of the action of people at work. In this way, we will know the performance or how individuals and groups act within the organization or in their work. For example, sales lady, how the way she communicate to the customer or how the way she sell the product.
Mary Parker Foley, also known as the mother of modern management, she was the first to recognize that organizations could be viewed from perspective of individual and group behavior, and also believed that the management was the art of getting things done through people. Mary Parker Foley advocated the principle of what she termed integration, or non-coercive power sharing, based on the use of her concept of power with rather than power over. Foley contributed greatly to the win-win philosophy, coining the term in her work with groups.
What is Hawthorne Studies in Management? The Hawthorne studies were conducted on workers at the Hawthorne plant of the Western Electric Company by Elton Mayo and Fritz Röhlinger in 1920s. The Hawthorne studies were part of a refocus on managerial strategy, incorporating the socio-psychological aspects of human behavior in an organization. The Hawthorne experiments can be divided into 5 major parts: experiment on illumination, relay assembly experiment, mass interviewing program, bank wiring observation room, personnel counseling.
The quantitative approach to management involves the use of quantitative techniques such as statistics, information models, and computer simulation to improve decision making. For example, managers are using computers to know the best way to do something, especially in saving time and money. Another, they also use mathematically forecasting to forecast or project if their plans are useful or effective. On the other hand, quantitative approach have the goal of specific formula to provide best answer to those management questions.